Good evening and thanks for being a part of the 6:30 p.m. edition of News on My Media Prime Television live from Douala, Cameroon with me, Fon Quinter, beginning in the northwest region, where activities are said to have resumed timidly in Bamenda like other parts of the region after separatist fighters imposed a lockdown. Northwest correspondent Charles Kiba visited some streets and markets and put together the following.
Commercial activities resumed this Friday, September 17 in Bamenda, though timid, still with the fear of the unknown after secessionists and separatist fighters instituted a ghost town to run for 2 weeks. Bamenda Food Market, like other markets, were jam full as city dwellers flood the markets to ensure they stock food at home. Though many in Bamenda hold to the point that the ghost town is uncalled for, many are of the opinion there is fear of the unknown and unforeseen that keeps them indoor.
Really today in Bamenda we are happy, and it was rumored that there would be no ghost town. Maybe it was done by the government on the other side. There was a great ghost town in Bamenda, in northwest region. Great ghost town. We are happy that they have given us 3 days. We need them to give schools to, we don't allow schools to go so that children can learn.
City dwellers in Bamenda, like other parts of the region, cry the situation presently witnessed something be done by the two factions, given interurban vehicles can't reach the city, as well as permit schools to go operational.
It doesn't mean that they cannot come out. It's not that the unforeseen, people are really afraid of their life, because they have difficult in this world. At least, you see, it's something that started like a joke, and finally it has become something that I think nobody can even defend it. You see, along the line, people are pretending. When you keep on pretending, the things will not move, what will not put in hands, because it's praying that people are praying that things will go to an end. But they're not praying the exactly praying that they're supposed to pray. They pray and do the healing. You are praying for what?
As time flies, the crisis existing in the English-speaking regions has turned to self-inflicting suffering. Time government calls for a ceasefire, and for both sides, rethink of different strategies rather than rely on ghost town that is doing harm than good.
Now, fire has consumed the warehouse of a supermarket in Bonabere, Douala Falls subdivision, Lithowa region of Cameroon. The flame broke out in the early hours of these days, September 17, 2021, as student journalist and internship. Nzile Emmanuel tells us.
The fire incident, which broke out in the early hours this Friday, September 17, 2021, at the warehouse of the Spar supermarket in the Douala 4 municipality, is yet to be put off. For several hours, the population and the fire unit battled to put the flames off. The incident, locals say, started at 11 p.m. and there was no one to turn it off. More so, they didn't take it serious. Reasons for the late arrival of the fire unit.
Nous avons été alertés aux environs de 5h25.
We were contacted at 5 a.m. The firefighters who are based in Bonaberi came before, but they discovered that the fire had already spread out. That is when they called us, so we immediately rushed to the location. Where the incident occurred. The warehouse contained cosmetics, school materials, motor spare parts, just to name the few. Though the cause of the fire is still to be established, the captain of the firefighters explains the possible reasons of the incident and their efforts in stopping the spreading of this fire to other structures around.
Avec le fourgon, grande capacité du centre de secours de Ngodi.
We came in with a bigger tank. Unfortunately, we were not able to save anything. We are also thankful to those who have been supporting us. We are also thankful to those who have been supporting us since we came in here. The fire incident left the owners of this enterprise speechless, as this reporter could tell from their facial expressions. The cause of the fire still remains unknown, even though questions have been raised as to why such a mega company does not have fire extinguishers. The warehouse contained goods worth 360 million francs. At the time of this report, the Army Rescue Unit was still trying to put off the flames.
Now, an atheist has reportedly sodomized a 17-year-old boy in Fumban West region of Cameroon. Security officials say this is not the first criminal record, neither it is the first time he is committing such an act. Details with Nora Kakibi.
Kasim De Caris, a local musician in Fumban, known division in the West region of Cameroon, sodomized a 17-year-old teenage boy in that locality. According to the boy's father, he noticed his son was not okay, and like most parents would do, he went on to find out what was troubling his son.
Nous avons constaté qu'il faisait des saignements au niveau de l'anus.
I realized my son was not okay, and I interrogated him, and he disclosed to my wife and I that he had been sodomized by Kasim De Caris in his office, where he was hypnotized and raped. He said the musician told him not to disclose to anybody and that he will teach him how to make money. All this happened and he did not let us know. On their part, a group of journalists later decided to carry out investigations and found out that it was not the first time the musician is committing such an abominable act. It is a practice he indulges in quite often on adolescents. When confronted by the boy's father, Kasim De Caris denied ever having committed the act. He said he was not responsible and that he can't ever do such a thing. Imagine my frustrations as a father who raises a son up to the age of 18 and someone uses splits of seconds to destroy his future. It should be noted that Kasim De Caris is presently under police custody, awaiting the hammer of justice. With cases like this on the rise in the communities, parents are called upon to have their eyes on their kids constantly and check out the company they keep.
Now, following the ambush and clean of over a dozen soldiers, according to unofficial sources, Thursday, August 16 in Bamising, a locality in Gakutunja Division, northwest region of Cameroon, in an operation led by self-styled General No Pity, some political figures have reached out to condemn the act. PCRN Member of Parliament for Wuri East constituency, Honorable Noran Futsin, while extending condolences to the family of the soldiers who perished in the ambush, qualifies the attack as cowardice and also describes those behind as enemies of the Republic. Meanwhile, Serge Espoir Matomba, Secretary General of PUS, reacting on his Facebook page, describes the attack as a big blow and humiliation to Cameroon's democracy. He equally advises the state to use all its might to save lives of soldiers and the population of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Now, Secondary Education Minister Professor Pauline Nalovalionga today met with secondary education stakeholders in Douala, Cameroon. The aim of the meeting was to discuss possible strategies for a corruption-free school year, as joined Gangthurses.
The unauthorized collection of interview fees, exaggerated PTA levies, and the situation of IDPs were the main points tabled by Her Excellency Pauline Nalovalionga. While addressing the principals of government bilingual secondary schools in Douala today, September 17, the Minister of Secondary Education stated several complaints that have been filed against some school authorities. Among them was the problem of conducting interviews into lower seats. To this, the Minister has put a stop as the government has not found the exams necessary. About collecting money from parents for this purpose, Minister Pauline Nalovalionga has called for an immediate stop and the reimbursement of the money already collected.
Students seeking admission do not have to pay any other fee. No fee is required for the study of files submitted to this committee. I equally seize this opportunity to remind members of the educational community that paying for charges other than those recognized by law is an act of corruption and is punishable by law.
As far as PTA levies are concerned, the MINSEC delegation was shocked at the extremely high amounts parents pay in schools. She therefore reminded the school authorities of the maximum 25,000 each parent is supposed to pay as PTA levies. Minister Paulina Lobalunga equally addressed the situation of IDPs, reiterating that any of such person is entitled to a free education after proper justification of their status. Douala being one of the most sensitive towns as far as education is concerned, the MINSEC boss urged the principals to be an example while emphasizing on the clean school concept.
Public Works Minister Emmanuel Ngannou has expressed satisfaction towards work done on the newly constructed 408-meter long bridge linking Cameroon and Nigeria. This was during a visit to the site as student journalist on internship Tam Emmanuel tells us.
Minister of Public Works Emmanuel Ngannou has paid a visit to Ekok in the Southwest region on Thursday, September 16, 2021, to acknowledge the 408 meters newly constructed bridge linking Cameroon and Nigeria. During his visit to Ekok, a vivid presentation of the different stages of the realization of the project that was launched in 2017 was shown to him after he visited the bridge and its access ways before an open discussion with the local community leaders in Ekok. His Royal Highness Tufam Ita Ayamba, on behalf of the inhabitants of the municipality, the Lord Mayor of the Eyumodjok Council expressed his gratitude to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, for the emblematic project which has come with its complementary assets to raise the standards of living within his municipality. This act is the fulfillment of a promise made by the head of states of Cameroon and Nigeria to ease cross-border trade between the two countries. This project also falls in line with the implementation of the Transport Facilitation Program on the Bamenda-Manfe-Abakaliki-Enugu corridor. The bridge was built under the joint supervision of the Cameroon Ministry of Public Works and the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing in Nigeria. The project has two other completed components, that is the tarring of the Bamenda-Manfe-Ekok sections and a national regional component concerning the construction and equipment of a unique border control post in Fum. The project was jointly funded by the two friendly countries with an amount of over 21 billion francs CFA tax exclusive, the support of the African Development Bank and the European Union. Minister Emmanuel Ngannou also made it known that the bridge over the Cross River has come to normalize and bring closer two brotherly nations, Nigeria and Cameroon, in a wake of the Green Tree Agreements, which established the need for these two countries to coexist harmoniously and to make the best of it by producing better because of a large market that will now be open to us.
Bishop Rogan College in Sumosopo Boya has benefited from a newly constructed water reservoir tank. The gesture was made by the Limbe chapter of Rotary Club International. Kuma Honore reports from Boya.
The Bishop Rogan community in Small Sopo Boya has benefited from giant water reserve tank from the Limbe chapter of the Rotary Club International. The handing over ceremony of the newly constructed water tank witnessed the presence of the president of the Limbe chapter of Rotary Club International, Mr. Peter Akoti, the rector of Bishop Rogan College, Reverend Father Jude Viso, the president of the Parents Teachers Association, among others. Welcoming the donor, the rector of Bishop Rogan College, Small Sopo Boya, said, the entire community has been suffering from the problem of acute water shortage that flows to the school campus with a population of over 1,000 inhabitants. Reverend Father Jude Viso appreciated the Rotary Club Limbe chapter president for identifying the need of the Bishop Rogan College community and to have acted promptly to solve the problem of water shortage in school campus.
I'm particularly pleased, especially on this day, that we have received this project. It has come to help us as a community to begin the academic year with hope that the water crisis that used to disturb us that much will be limited.
Presenting the newly constructed water reserve tank, the Limbe chapter president of Rotary Club International, Mr. Akote Peter, outlined some of the major objectives of the Rotary Club International with providing assistance to the needy communities in the area of providing potable water, health assistance with the eradication of poliomyelitis through polio vaccines, and equally promoting education in underprivileged communities.
It was all about water project. You know, they explained that in the morning, the rush hour, at times the water quality is not much. So it disturbed the students from taking their bath regularly and make them go carry water, which is actually disturbing. So that's a project that they wanted that the father, the principal, and so presented to us.
The students expressed words of gratitude to the donors, with some of them recounting how water shortage affected their timetable and how they had to wake up as early as 5 a.m. not to be deprived of water.
I would like to say thank you for the continuous water. At least us being responsible to carry water, because when the senior students gather and the tap does not flow pressure, they take more time and we intend to go late. We go late to the chapel.
The newly constructed tank is about 10 meters high with a capacity to store about 10,000 liters of water. It was constructed to the tune of 2.1 million francs CFA with support from Nova Scotian Rotary Club in Canada in partnership with the Limbe Rotary Club International. The second phase of the project will be to extend the supply of water to the entire small support community in Buea.
We stay in the southwest region where female patients at the Limbe Regional Hospital heave sighs of relief following the renovation of the hospital toilet. The modern toilet facility was handed to hospital management by members of the Victoria Indigenous Association. Kumanore once more.
Management and staff of the Limbe Regional Hospital have expressed satisfaction to members of the Victoria Indigenous Association, dubbed Vikings, for renovating 2 toilets at the female ward of the Limbe Regional Hospital. The handing over exercise took place in the presence of the director of the Limbe Regional Hospital, the president of Vikings, alongside senior citizens from Limbe under the banner of Vikings. Addressing staff and management of the hospital, the president of Vikings, Honorable Etombi Gladys Ikome, hailed doctors and nurses for their efforts in saving lives and called on them to meet up with the expectations of the population, especially with the status of the hospital being raised to an imaging center. She called on users of the renovated toilets to make sure the toilets are always clean, as it is a public utility.
Today, example hospital, for regional hospital, because we take projects to renovate toilets for the baby inside maternity. I want to say for 50 I'm fine. But which way we can use hospital? When we come for born, when we come for sick, when we use that facilities, when we use them pay. If you don't know how to use them, ask the nurse. And when they tell you, say, when you enter from inside, do not so, make you do and go.
Welcoming the donors, the director of the Limbe Regional Hospital, Dr. Arineke Nyenti, expressed satisfaction and promised to caution users to keep the modern toilet facilities clean. He thanked the donors for reinforcing the water supply system by constructing a new tank to reinforce the capacity of the existing one, which was always interfered with low water pressure.
I think it's like a dream coming true, because one of my dreams in response to challenges that I faced here is to have a community that is supportive, a community that is progressive, a community that will not see this hospital as falling, they see it as their own. That should come and work with us to resolve problems that clients face on a daily basis. And just like Sonara, in Vikings has made a very, very significant step today.
It is worth mentioning that this is not the first time Vikings have come to the assistance of the Limbe Regional Hospital, as they were involved in the construction of a chapel at the Limbe Regional Hospital mortuary, donated benches for patients' use, renovated several wards, donated trash cans, just to name but these few.
The 6th Scientific Board meeting of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea has ended in Douala. Focus on this year's edition has been laid on the promotion of academic research, as Nolinga tells us.
The Board of Directors, alongside representatives of partnering universities to the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea, meeting during the 6th edition of the Scientific Council Board, prelude to the school's resumption. Steve Cedric Jambo, president of the University Institute, says the Scientific Board is a forum for reflection and evaluation. The board, made of 30 members, meets at least once a semester at the convocation of the president of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea. Meanwhile, the University Council is a sub of the Scientific Council, and to this, Mr. Jambo once more.
Le conseil d'université est une composante essentielle de notre démarche qualité qui a pour but de mettre à disposition de l'étudiant de l'IUG un cadre d'excellence. Ce conseil d'université, c'était principalement l'étudiant qui était au cœur de nos débats en vue d'améliorer le cadre de l'apprentissage.
On his part, as president of the Scientific Board, Professor Etoile François Xavier now expresses satisfaction on the state of affairs of the institution.
We are satisfied. We are delighted with the way we are moving forward because last year we were very, very glad to announce that we have a reader. One of our teachers has been moved to associate professor grade, and this year also we have another teacher who has been upgraded to senior professor.
With forums like the Scientific Council Board geared towards the promotion of academic research, Professor Etoile further mentions IUG's efforts towards that effect.
As far as academic staff is concerned, the head of UG is putting all efforts in such a way that teachers engaged in research be at the same level as their colleagues of state universities. That's one of the key of our road to excellence.
Created since 1993, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea is a group of 3 schools of higher learning institutions located in the same campus at the Bassa neighborhood here in Douala. IUG is specialized in the fields of commerce and management, communication and information, industry, new technologies, and paramedical sciences. With 28 years of outstanding performances, IUG stands out as one of the most prestigious private higher learning institutions in Cameroon.
At IUG, we train leaders since 1993.
Today, September 17, is observed worldwide as Patient Safety Day, aimed at enhancing global understanding of patient safety and reduce avoidable harm in health care. This year's campaign focuses on safe maternal and newborn care amid COVID-19 pandemic. Bukenga Wadi tells us more.
Dedicated to prioritizing the need to address safety in maternal and newborn care, especially during childbirth, World Patient Safety Day 2021 seeks to reduce the burden of harm women and newborns are exposed to due to unsafe care born from negligence, lack of experience, health personnel, know-how, advanced medical equipment and facilities.
This year's World Patient Safety Day on the 17th of September is dedicated to safe maternal and newborn care. Childbirth should be a time of celebration for families and communities. But for too many, it is a time of sorrow and grief.
Every day, an estimated 12,910 newborns and pregnant women lose their lives at childbirth. With an estimated 10 million infants that die yearly, childbirth has become a time when parents and caregivers catch their breath. However, these deaths are highly preventable.
Every day, nearly 5,400 babies are stillborn, and more than 800 women and 6,700 newborns die mainly around the time of childbirth. These deaths are mostly avoidable with safe and quality care, delivered by skilled health professionals, supported by a strong health system.
Commemorated this year under the theme Save Maternal and Newborn Care, the World Health Organization Director General calls government, policy makers, healthcare workers, and communities to action.
The Global Patient Safety Action Plan 2021 to 2030 provides strategic direction to eliminate avoidable harm in healthcare. To mark World Patient Safety Day every year, monuments around the world are lit up in orange as a show of global solidarity. We call on all countries, health workers, communities, and partners to act now for safe and respectful childbirth.
Since women's experience during childbirth are also affected by issues of gender equity and violence as stated by the World Health Organization, patients, caregivers, and health workers are encouraged to speak up for safe and respectful healthcare as well as childbirth.
In the following report, student journalist on internship Eyong Tennyson has details of some striking stories on the African continent. Her report.
Eritrean soldiers and Ethiopia rebel fighters have raped and killed some refugees in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, Human Rights Watch have confirmed. According to sources, the Eritrean soldiers and the Ethiopian rebels detained and tortured some Eritrean refugees in attacks that have amounted to clear war crimes. According to reports, Thursday, 16th of September 2021 attacks were carried out around 2 camps in Tigray where local forces have battled the Ethiopian government and their Eritrean allies since November in a conflict. It is worthy of note that Tigray, a mountainous and poor province of about 5 million people, is home to tens of thousands of Eritreans. Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS, West Africa's main regional bloc, has imposed sanctions against the military government in Guinea and those slowing Mali's post-coup d'etat transition. This decision was made today, Thursday, the 16th of September 2021, during an emergency summit of ECOWAS in Accra, Ghana. This is in response to last week's coup d'etat in Guinea and a perceived slow progress towards constitutional rule in Mali following a coup d'etat last year. Guinea's military leaders have been slammed travel bans and their financial assets frozen by regional heads of state, insisting on the release of President Alpha Condé. According to reports, ECOWAS Commission President Jean-Claude Cassibrou at a briefing categorically states that elections should be held in Mali and Guinea within 6 months. Martin Fayulu, Congo's opposition leader, has demanded for an investigation after security forces brutally dispersed a rally he organized over election reforms. According to sources, this incident, which occurred on Wednesday the 15th of September 2021 in Kinshasa, capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, left 30 persons arrested and 20 others severely injured after gunshots were fired in the air by police officers. It should be recalled that Fayulu lost to Felix Tshisekedi in 2018 elections that many observers say was rigged. Fayulu equally claims that Felix Tshisekedi, who came to power after an alliance with former President Joseph Kabila, remains an illegitimate president. Former governor of Bank of Central African States BEAC, Kasimi Marie-Ange Oyeba, has passed away. The Gabonese politician passed on to glory on Thursday, the 16th of September 2021 in Paris, France, after a brief illness. Before his death, Kasimi Oyeba served as BEAC's governor from 1978 to 1990, Prime Minister of Gabon from 1990 to 1994. He remained in government as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs from 1994 to 1999, Minister of State for Planning from 1999 to 2007, Minister of State for Mines and Oils from 2007 to 2009. Kasimi Oyeba is remembered in history as the third Prime Minister of Gabon under President Omar Bongo.
This report concludes today's edition of Prime News on My Media, Prime Television. My name is Fon Quinter. Prime comes up just after the news with Kum Leonard and his team. Stay with us. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.
Since 1993, EUG is 3 schools, ESG, ISTA, ISA, 3 ultra-modern campuses.